Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Dbacks Dispatch. If this is your first time on the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future live videos, and you can go back and watch our other videos. We would appreciate it. Make sure to like and comment as well. Fellas, we got another series win under our belt. Game one was ugly. Like, I am not going to sugarcoat it. Game one was like, it wasn't good. That's all I'll say. I was not very pleased with game one as I was watching. We end up losing 6-9. But I feel like that doesn't tell the whole story. I really feel like it does. Like, I think the score was... So, first inning... Steve Berthiaume needs to stop with these curses. I swear. He always says it. They bring up the fact that Nolan has not hit a home run since like August of last year. And what does he do? Literally hangs a sweeper in the middle of the zone and he nukes it. He absolutely destroyed that ball. Fott struggled in the first two innings, but he did settle in. So is this official, Josh? Because I kept looking and it was at 99. So if this is official, congratulations to our 100th subscriber. Yes, it is. It is official. We have 100 subscribers. So whoever that was, we appreciate it very, very much. We have officially hit 100 subscribers. But Brett, thoughts on game one and Broad Fott?
Like you said, it's the Steve Berthiaume curse. We know him, whether it's a pitcher or a hitter. He could be up there, and whatever he's saying, if it's this hasn't happened in a while, or oh wow, this player's doing really well, just something bad will happen. Not surprisingly though, it had to have been Arenado. I looked up his stats earlier today because I was just genuinely curious. And Nolan Arenado in 141 career games against the Dbacks has a .303 batting average, 162 hits, 32 homers, 110 RBIs, 93 runs scored. So this dude just terrorizes us. It doesn't matter. Thank goodness he's not in the division to face us even like 10, 12 times a year. But yeah, Fott, looked a little bit like his 2023 struggles with the home run, one to Nolan and then one to Newt. So didn't like that as much, but was really encouraging seeing him set down. I believe I would say 11 in a row. I don't know if it's technically in a row because he did give up a single, but then immediately was erased by double play. But after the Newt Bar home run, he, again, 11 people in a row, gave the offense a chance to get back into the game. They did. The first two innings definitely sucked, but what we saw from him after the first three innings sucked from him, but what we saw after that was really encouraging from Fott.
Yeah, really, really was. Gabe, thoughts on game one and Brandon Fott?
Yeah, I mean, like Oscar said in the comments right here, he can't give up 3-run bombs. Like, if he's going to give up a bomb, no one on base, or at least maybe one person on base. You can't really do that, especially, in games like these when they're so close. You can't just give up 3 runs like that. But I will say he looked like an ace out there, especially once he settled down, because this is what happens. Zach Gallen will have a game. And same with Merrill Kelly. They'll have a game where they'll give up 6 runs, 5-6 runs in the first inning or second inning, and then they settle down. Suddenly you look up and it's 6-7 innings with 5 runs. And it's like they did their job. They went the distance. They gave this team a chance to win. I felt like that's what Fott did. Unfortunately, we'll bring it up a little bit later, but the bullpen, they just crapped the bed. You can't do anything about that. But, 6 innings for the way he started, Fott, really battled back. He really settled in. I don't know what Strom said other than give up a 3-run bomb, but he told him something that slowed him down a bit.
I love how you posted that meme. I'm like, that's so true. Fott in this game to me was 2 different people. There was the first 2 innings where he gave up those 2 bombs, one to Nolan Arenado and one to Lars Nootbaar, his first game of the season. By the way, Lars Nootbaar does phenomenal at Chase Field. So, Hazen, keep an eye on him, maybe? Like, he looks... I know we have an influx of outfielders. We really, really do. But whenever I see someone just absolutely destroy us at Chase Field, I'm like, let's keep tabs on him. Maybe he could be someone to get down the line because there's obviously something about Chase Field. But for me, first 2 innings fought was regular season fought of last year. Innings 3 through 6 were playoff fought. Like that's what I truly felt. Like he got rocked a little bit, and he kind of still kept his composure. He went 6 innings. I think it was 96 pitches, 99 pitches. So he won 6 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned, 4 Ks. Like not too bad of an outing. But like he can't do that. Like you can't hope that our offense comes, pun intended, answers back. You can't rely on that because that is not something that can be sustained. That is not something that they can do start after start after start.
But also, I mean, 6 runs. 6 runs, it's not like they scored 2 runs. They scored 6. That should be enough to win the game. And like, again, we'll discuss later, but 6 runs apparently isn't enough for this team sometimes.
But as we said, the team came back because we had a 6-run 5th inning capped off by Suarez going the opposite. I love when guys go the opposite field. I love a good oppo taco. Like, I think they're always so great because so many guys are pull hitters. Like, so many will pull. Like, the fact that Gino was able to go the other way, like that was way on the outside. Like if he pulls that, like I'm like, what are you doing? But it was a really good 5th inning there. I feel like Fott was going to be done after 5, but there's we tied it. Let's see if we can get him out for the 6th. So really good game there. Carroll has been playing very well the last week. Whatever adjustments he had done to start the year, either he has worked on them or they just completely changed his approach. And I feel like he came out of his shell with that home run against Colorado. Gurriel has been very, very hot this week. His hit streak did end today, but he was on a 7-game hit streak. We'll get a little bit more in depth with that later. But I think the other major story from this game is the B team and the bullpen. Because that's what it is. Yeah. Like, A team is Kyle Nelson sometimes. Like, he's more on that side. And then Thompson, Ginkel, and then when he comes back, Seawald. But the B team of Mantiply, Castro, McGuff, and Frias just is not good at all in high level. Like, the game's tied. Like, why would you bring... Like, to me, those
guys just give me a lot of flashbacks to... I don't know if you remember him, Brandon or Gabe, or if this is going to be a random poll that you guys might not have heard the name in years, but those 4 guys specifically give me a lot of Randall Delgado vibes.
Oh my God,
every now and then they can again, like we talked about Castro last week, in the right situation they can be a productive pitcher, but sometimes as a relief pitcher you can't do that. It's like, hey, when you're called upon, like just get better. But all 4 of those guys are the Randall Delgados, to where there's a good chance they're going to give up 2 or 3 runs. If they give you 0, you're kind of like, let's go, heck, a little bit of a round of applause for the guy, but that doesn't happen much. And especially in the beginning of this year, it's not really happened unless we're facing a bad team like the Rockies. Hasn't really happened at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and we talked about it in our group chat today. Why is Joe Mantiply? Other than the fact that he was their all-star in their awful 2022 season, and they don't want to part from him being on the roster, I'd rather play Saul Frank.
I mean, Saul Frank's numbers aren't like too hot in arena right now, and even today, like after the walk, Joe got I think 4 straight outs, maybe 3 straight outs, but
yeah,
it's still one of those where it's you don't have, at least me as as a viewer, as a fan, I don't necessarily have the confidence. I know Torrey, as a manager, he's going to have the confidence in his players, just like he always does. Like, that's his job. Like, he's going to instill that confidence in them. But Mantiply, it's not like the All-Star Mantiply. It's not like the feeling that we got from, Tea Time and Saul Frank and Ginkel and Seawald in the bullpen last year. Like Mantiply is that it's like watching Andrew Chafin pitch. It's like watching those guys
I
where
don't
like
know what we're gonna get.
you're just hoping you know what you're gonna get, but you're just begging that he can get some weak contact here and there. And he does. He does have some outings and some innings like we saw today. Does really solid, but it doesn't ever seem like there's an easy inning. There's never clean 1, 2, 3 innings like ever with him.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we have to do, especially come deadline. It's like we have to improve this bullpen. We have to get an elite lefty reliever. We need to get another righty. Like unless they're going to call up Saul Frank and J Mart, like I other than that, then I don't see them. If they do that, then I don't see them making any real moves. But I feel like they're just like they're hoping that these guys figure it out. Which I mean, it does happen. They're relievers. It does happen. They're going to go through stretches where they're bad. Then they're going to become shut down. It's just kind of the life of the reliever at that point. But I kind of wanted to ask real quick. Most of the runs during this series come around the 5th and the 6th inning, right?
Yes, they did. Because they had 3 in the 6th yesterday, and then I think they had like 3 or 4 in the 5th or 6th in today's game. So yeah, this team when they score, they score. Like they put up a crooked number.
Yeah, I guess we have 4 here, Dbacks and answer backs.
Yeah, I think we
answer back. Yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah, sounds like we lost Gabe there for a second, which is
offense can put the numbers up. But I mean, again, that's kind of like with a lot of things. Like that's the beautiful thing with baseball. Like this isn't just a Diamondbacks thing, Maybe it's more like the D-backs have a worse trend of it, but a lot of teams kind of have that. They can go through the exact same. They'll put up like 5 or 6 runs in one inning, and next thing you know, like they're down 9-7. Because the D-backs, I think it was a day or two after they blew their 8-2 lead against the Braves. I believe there's a different team that also blew like an 8-0 game against the Cubs, or not too sure, but it's not just us, thankfully.
Yeah. Does sound all right now?
Yeah, you're good.
Better. Okay. I guess, go ahead, Gabe.
Yeah, the early backs, answer backs, the middle inning backs. Like that's the only way I can refer to them because that's kind of all they've done. And then I guess the Schrodinger's D-backs where they're both the early backs and the answer back at the same time.
I mean, this one was like you had both. No.
Yeah.
No, I guess not, because I don't think we ever took the lead in this one because we were down 6-0 and then it was 6-6. So
yeah, we never took the lead.
So that is it for game number 1, which we lost, but we end up winning the next 2. We had a very rare sighting. We had a good Ryan Nelson home start. I truly cannot believe it. Ryan Nelson faced 26 batters. 20 of them were first pitch strikes. Now, that does include when he gets an out on the first pitch, because technically they classify that as a strike. I don't know if that's a first pitch strike. He at one point set down 10 in a row. But for me, did I not put it in here? Yes, I did. Okay. The big thing I got out of this is the 6th inning. Runners on 2nd and 3rd, no outs. Forces this ground ball, gets Goldie, which I think this shows that he is improving. He still throws that 4-seam a little bit too much. He threw it 40 times. I'm a little I get it. It's your most confident pitch. Then Contreras' line drive, and McCarthy throws a dot back in.
Thank God Goldie was not running the bases properly.
Yeah. But this right here, his emotion after this strikeout on Jordan Walker, who I didn't realize was like 6'7", 6'8". Like, look at him. He is so pumped that that could have been a really, really tough inning for him. Like, he could have collapsed pretty bad there. So, congratulations to Ryan Nelson. Brett, thoughts on Ryan Nelson looked good at home. What is this?
Yeah, I mean, it was you talked about it last week, especially with, or I think it was last week after his Braves start, how Ryan on the road is completely different than Ryan at Chase Field. Did see a little bit on Twitter that there was people thinking that maybe it's yesterday's performance was due to the roof being open. Because even watching some of those fly balls and stuff, some of them did look like they were kind of dying into the outfield a little bit. Where I think if the roof is closed, they would sail out here a little bit more, maybe have more carry on them. But it was good. I mean, like you said, he still threw the fastball a little much. He didn't get really much swing and miss. Like, that's not the crazy thing is it's not like we saw Ryan Nelson like suddenly do all the things that, you know, the team and we've been kind of like wanting him to do for these last year and a half. Like, you know, get some swing and miss, throw something else other than your fastball. He was stubborn. He had his normal game plan. It's just the Cardinals could not touch it. And that's where I guess like they talked about it before, like his fastball, just like the spin, like it's a tough fastball to hit. And he had one swing and miss on I think his slider and his cutter. Everything else was a fastball that he like got a few swing and misses on. Yeah, through 25 cutters. Like he had a really solid game and he stuck to, you know, game plan that even me is like, hey, try to get away from it. But it was a nice change of pace from the normal Ryan Nelson we see at home. And I want to see it more. I know there's gonna be one guy losing their spot in the rotation when Jordan Montgomery comes back on this Friday. I still think Ryan Nelson will have another shot in the rotation for when Erod gets back. But either way, this is encouraging to see, to where if he does get moved to the bullpen, things like this where, okay, if you're in the bullpen at home, at, you know, road, if we can get just a consistent Ryan Nelson and know exactly what we're going to get, like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, once we're fully healthy and Erod, like, he's either going to be in Reno or he's going to be coming out of the pen. So, Gabe, your thoughts on Ryan Nelson?
I guess I have a couple of thoughts. One is that Ryan Nelson, you know, heard that Montgomery's coming back, so he took that personally because he's like, I am not giving up that spot. I am not going to stop earning my $750,000 in the big leagues. And I guess second is that Goldie is washed, and they should sell us him for Jace Peterson or something.
Oh my God.
But no, Ryan looked so freaking good, and this is what we saw in the playoffs at times too. This is who he can be. He hasn't exactly been that. Like, I'm not expecting him to go, you know, 6 innings and like no runs every single time, or 2 runs or 1 run, or no runs.
He gave up 2.
2 runs. Yeah, I'm not expecting him to go 6 and
Right, 1 run. Thompson gave up 1 run.
Yeah. The ball that just dribbled by Chase. But yeah, so Ryan looked really good. And like I said, I'm not expecting him to go 6 and, you know, 1 run every single time, but as long as you get 5 and 2, give this team a chance to win. That's what he's did in this start specifically. And I know Brett mentioned the roof. I always noticed that once the roof is open, the ball just flies out of the park. So the fact that he was able to keep the ball in the park, because I mean, I don't know if you ever noticed, it creates like a vortex effect. The air just starts blowing up when they open the roof. So when that happens, it's like it's a completely different ball game when that happens.
Brett, you are muted, sir.
I'm about to go through on Fangraphs and do a little bit of a Ryan Nelson roof open, roof closed, because I'm genuinely curious now, because that's what I've always thought, but that's what's weird how people were saying that maybe the roof being open yesterday helped. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna go through and see.
It could be like a bit of a cognitive bias, but every time that I've been there, they open the roof, the ball just starts flying. I remember one of the main
logically
times,
that makes sense. I feel like that.
Yeah, I mean,
being honest,
one of the main times I remember was when Patrick Corbin, he had gone like 6 innings without a hit or something. They opened the roof halfway through the game, and I told my brother, "Watch, they're gonna hit a home run off of him." And yep, and the ball went straight to us in was it left field or whatever it was, the home run. I'm like, that happens. You suddenly start to feel the air start pull everything up, and the ball just stays in the air. And I mean, we're seeing from these highlights, like he's keeping the ball on the ground, which is what you want from someone like Ryan Nelson. And then Goldie being washed, he can't outrun Moreno anymore, so you can give him to us for free.
Okay. But like we said, this team might have to score in the 5th and the 6th. And look who decided to say, that ball is a frozen rope. That I was like, that might hit the top of the wall, but no. Gurriel gets a 3-run homer. And apparently, some people are saying that he's copying Alex Thomas's celebration when he hit that home run against Kimbrel. I don't know. I think it's like an homage. Like, I'm not, like, I kind of see what he did, but it looks like that's just something any player would do if they hit a big home run.
I think, to me, it looked a little bit like a mixture of maybe he was doing it as like oh, hey, Alec, it's your T-shirt night, here, I'll do it for you. Or he could have genuinely been like looking up, like, I don't know, questioning. It's like, I have no idea how I hit that ball out, but thank you, God. I appreciate that. Because, like you said, that was a rope. He had so much, like, I'm surprised that went out with, it looked like he had a lot of topspin on that thing, because it just kept, or backspin, it just kept going, dude. That was wild.
I wonder if that was something that they all came up with. Like, at some point, they all kind of mentioned it, like, oh, hey, we're going to, if any of us hit a home run, we're going to do the Alec thing, because he did it, but also, like, if you look at the replay, they do the same thing when he's running third base and everything. The points, literally the exact same thing Alec did. It's like a shot-for-shot remake of the celebration. So I'm sure it's an homage. And also, I wanted to bring back real quick to Nelson, what Oscar mentioned, that he threw 25 cutters as opposed to a slider, which he relied on. So that could be one of the big changes that he's done. But, I mean, freaking Gurriel, I love seeing that. Like, I played it in my head just thinking about, like, Alec Thomas take the ride of his life. And, like, that thing is burned into my memory.
107 off the bat, by the way. So he definitely. I don't know if you guys listened to the broadcast today, but apparently, what happened on this pitch is they were having Gibson and William Contreras, as Steve Berthune likes to say. He's been saying that for so many years. It's so funny. Apparently, they were having pitch comm issues, and Gibson was running out of time, so he rushed the pitch. So thank you, technology, for working in our favor. So that was
make a better pitch.
Yeah, make a better pitch. I'm really hoping that Ryan, like, this gives him some confidence, because I think he has the stuff to be a major league starting pitcher. I think he does. I think he has confidence issues, and he relies on his four-seam too much. And the thing is, it doesn't move. It's very, very straight. I mean, he reached 98 in this start, so that's pretty good. It's just he's got to be able. He still had a couple at bats where guys were falling off like 3 or 4 pitches. I'm like, you got to put guys away. Like, for me, that's the biggest thing with Ryan Nelson, is you got to find a secondary pitch that you're confident with, that you can get guys out on. If he does that, I think he'll be just fine.
I think you said he pitched 98. I mean, we still haven't gotten confirmation about the mystery man for 99s, and that's
sure
who.
It's got to be Ryan.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where we landed. About it's probably Ryan.
Because no one, I'm like, who else would it have been? Like that. That's why I'm like, it's Ryan. Like, there's no one else that it could have been for me. So I want to ask you guys this question. I don't know if you guys know, when was the last time Ryan won a start at Chase Field?
Never.
Is that the answer, or can I go?
No. Yeah. Gabe, what is?
I'm thinking. Oh wait, I'm probably wrong. It wasn't against the Padres, was it?
Of his career in like August, I think, of 22, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a second, because it was. His first start was in San Diego.
Yes.
Yeah. Then was it against the Cardinals again? Like the first one?
I think it was. Yeah. Well, I don't know who the start was, but it was May of last year. So almost a full year in winning at home.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So I'm looking on Savant here. I don't remember Has he always thrown a curveball?
Yes.
Okay, because
he doesn't throw it at all. He has no confidence in it.
And that's what I'm saying, because he threw it once. He threw his changeup 8 times. We need to get Zach and Merrill to like just have a sit down and be like, all right, Ryan, we're gonna have you throw one of our changeups. You're not leaving this facility until you can replicate one of our changeups. Doesn't matter whose it is, one of them, just one of them. Because if he can have a changeup like that, or even in that like caliber, oof.
Oh, it was against Colorado. May 29th.
Damn, that's a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully this is a nice change. Maybe he figured something out. Maybe it's something. Maybe it could have been something as simple as like when Fott just had to go from one side of the rubber to the other. Maybe they were like, "Hey, grip the pitch differently this way," or when Oscar brought up in the chat, and then Gabe mentioned it earlier with him throwing more cutters than sliders. Maybe you don't throw the slider. Like he literally threw the slider 4 times, and the cutter 25 times. Where I believe, let me go to his start against the Braves, which was let me see, last Tuesday. No, I'm sorry. This was on the weekend. Wow. Either way, he's been throwing the slider a bunch because fastball slider was his like bread and butter pitch coming out of college. So I don't know. Maybe it was just simple of like, hey man, your slider is what gets crushed. Throw your cutter more because it's just a faster slider and it plays off your fastball really well, and you'll get a lot of swing and miss, or a lot of at least like weak contact.
Hold up, I'm going back to that. Oh, I know. That was. What day did he pitch? Was it Saturday?
This weekend, yeah. This week he pitched on the 13th.
No, I mean his last start versus the Braves.
I'm going back. It was Sunday.
Sunday? Okay, I thought it was Saturday.
Yeah, Sunday against the Braves. Because he did, let's see, game logs. 8 games back. Let's go. You can throw a game back on the thing. Yeah, against the Braves. So that was the 7th. Okay. Let me check the chart here. I think Gabe's back. You can throw him back up on the thing.
Oh, sorry. I was on.
Oh, no. So even against the Braves, he threw like 27 cutters and 13 sliders. So he threw, I mean, still a considerable amount of cutters in that time, and just way less sliders today or Saturday. So I don't know. Maybe it is just genuinely like, hey, throw your cutter more, because those back-to-back starts, like he looked pretty solid against the Braves. I mean, the Braves are the Braves. Like, it's, you know, you kind of got to chalk that one up to you're going to get hit, and he limited damage. So maybe it's just, hey, be a fastball cutter guy now. Yes, 27. Thank you, Oscar. 27 cutters to 13 sliders. So
yeah, he's like 4-seam cutter and sometimes slider, but that's pretty much it for Ryan. But we end up winning game number 2. Ginkel gets his 3rd save of the year. It's really weird. Like, we didn't have any saves, and then like in like 4 days, Ginkel gets like 3 of them. So good there. Game number 3, we had a Gallons Day start, and we saw exactly why he is fantastic. He went 6 innings, 7 Ks. He's now 3-0 with a 1.64 ERA. We got a shutout today, guys. I was very, very happy with that. And Gallen only threw 90 pitches, which is good, because his last start, he threw 108 against Colorado. So it was nice to see them not push him so much. In this start, Mantiply looked okay. But I know, Brett, your standout performance in this game was Bryce Jarvis. He went 1 2/3, and I don't disagree with you. I thought Bryce looked really, really good in this one.
Yeah, Bryce is nice, man. It's I have an article that should hopefully be out tomorrow. Basically, a little recap of the series. One takeaway, one standout from. Dude, Oscar. Yeah, dude. We talked about that in our group chat. I love kids. It's adorable, but I turn into that Michael Jordan meme ad whenever I hear kids singing the national anthem. It's just like, I want to see how many beers I can chug by the time it's over to make it like, you know, a little bit more bearable. But anyway, back to Bryce. Like with his last performance in Colorado when the pen was really dead on that getaway day and they needed innings, he gave us good innings. Today he did. He had one against the Braves where he got hit up, but then against the Yankees, another inning of just no runs, no hits. So Bryce, slowly but surely, I feel like is at least earning a little bit more confidence from Torrey. And I don't know, maybe we'll see more Bryce Jarvis in, you know, crucial situations instead of fucking Miguel Castro.
That's what I would like to see. I would like to see Bryce Jarvis in more high leverage situations because I think he's really only done low and medium leverage. I would like to see him in, to be honest, I'd rather see him out of the pen before Castro. Probably not McGuff. I have a little bit more trust in McGuff. Castro, I have none. Castro, I'm done. The only reason he's on this roster is because of how much he makes. But Gabe, your thoughts on Galentine's Day?
Yeah, I thought Gallen, I mean, he looked pretty amazing. I guess he's kind of confirming a couple of suspicions we talked about because I know there's people who were concerned about his velocity and in spring because it was 89, 90, and everyone's like, oh no, like what's going on? But I think at this point we saw he was averaging around 92, 93. He just looks so good, especially with his fastball. I honestly think at this point we're at a point where I think Gallen maybe went to the Justin Verlander school of pitching, where for the first 4 or 5 innings, he'll be throwing around 91, 92. And then when he gets to the 6th inning, he'll be start pumping that fastball higher. And I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you're talking about, you know, facing the order the third time around, and to go from seeing, you know, 91 mile per hour fastball to suddenly seeing 95. That's a huge difference. That's the difference between, you know, a hit and a strikeout. And I think that maybe that's what Gallen's trying to do. And I know he also had his issues. Was it last year or 2 years ago where he had those issues about UCL and stuff? Like he's had issues with stuff like that. But I mean, he's an ace. He's supposed to go 6 innings. He's supposed to go 6. He's supposed to go 7. Why would he come out there and be like Spencer Strider or like Blake Snell throwing 5 innings, you know, with 10 strikeouts if he can't even, you know, get the job done? The reason why Strider, you know, with his 4.5 ERA, won 20 games last year is because the Braves just have an offense that fornicates a lot. So they, you know, will run train on teams like nothing. But, you know, if he would have been on any other team, he would have lost 20 games probably because you can't go 5 innings and not, you know, win a game like that the way he pitches. But Gallen, that's what you want. You want 6.
He's not pitching for a while. He had surgery today.
Yeah, so I mean, Gallen is protecting himself. He's like I said, I think he truly is doing what Verlander did and what Ohtani has done these last couple of years, where he really like saves his really good stuff for the end of the game, where he just goes all out and just throws as hard as he can, and then his night is done. I mean, 90 pitches, 6 innings. This was the playoffs. He probably would have been out there for the 7th.
Oh yeah, or like if it was closer. At that point, so I don't know what it is with this team, but they love putting up that crooked number. Christian Walker has been had 3 hits today. He's batting 300. Jock Peterson gets this phenomenal double right down the line. So we got runners on 2nd and 3rd. Like this offense, I don't want to say they're streaky, but and then we got this man who I want to give props to Christian on this sack fly. I was like, Christian, what are you doing? I'm like, Tony Perez-Chico, why are you sending him here? The only thing I can think of is that they know Donovan doesn't have the best arm. It was a really good slide by Christian. He kind of goes to the outside of the bag. Rake McCarthy is here, ladies and gentlemen. You better be ready for it. Cactus Jake. Yes, Cactus Jake. He's hitting 276 on the year. Carol, I'm okay with it here, but please stop swinging at the first pitch. That's all I beg of you. You've been doing it too much. this sequence for Pilate was not good. But we score all 5 runs there in the 5th. We end up winning the game. There's got to be someone in Reno that they can put in instead of Jace. I can't stand it. The man is hitting 0.63. He's hitting 60. Like, I would rather than play Kevin Newman. Kevin Newman has done a very decent job. Or, Tori, hear me out. I know why you don't want to play Blake against righties because you don't want him to do too much too quickly. But he's better than Jace. At this point, he's better than Jace Peterson. Like, you can't hit someone who's hitting 0.63. You're muted again, sir.
You can replace the man, but you can't replace the idea of Paven. Okay?
If Paven could play, first of all, he's left-handed, so there's no, you can't play any other position besides outfield, pitcher, and first base. Like, it's so weird how you don't see that anymore. You don't see second, short, or third as a lefty because that throw is so much harder as a lefty.
You especially without fat. Dude, just really quick side tangent. An entire infield of all just left-handers, Corbin Carroll would have 120 infield singles because that extra second of how they would have to square around a throw, he's beating out every throw. But anyways, Jace rough, man. That sack fly was on Walker and Parashika for the aggressive send because I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, Jace Peter. I saw it on game day and I was like, Jace Peterson sacrifice fly. I'd look at my screen and I see that little fucking duck fart of a swing and I'm like, dude, these are pitches right down the I could get it if it's it's on the edge. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but if you go back on the game day, most of the pitches that he swung on.
Oh my God, that thing's in the middle of the plate. That thing's in the middle.
It's the Nick Ahmed meme that Gabe gracefully sent in the group chat that I could use because I can't watch it. I can't watch. I genuinely cannot watch every single time he's up. I turn away.
I mean, here's the thing. He owes a steak dinner to Christian Walker for keeping him going 0 for 4. I mean, Christian Walker should not have ran that. The only people who should be running that are Carroll and Thomas. But I mean, he still did it, and he kept him from going 0 for 4 again, second night in a row after, going 0 for whatever the hell he's doing.
Domo, come back as soon as you can, please. If you would have asked me that at the end of 2022, yes, Geraldo Perdomo, please come back. I'd be like, you're freaking crazy. Because he had... the only reason he played so much in 2022 is because we were so bad. You may as well. 2022 Domo rookie was not good. He was not good, y'all. But he made a very big leap in 23. He had looked pretty good in here in 24. So hopefully he's back here in a couple of weeks. We did have a slight scare in this game. Here in the 6th, Contreras hits a deep fly ball to right by the pool, and we have a collision with Jake and Corbin. I freaked out a little bit. But if you watch it back, it wasn't like a body-to-body collision. I think they just clipped feet. First of all, the fact that both of them got there is crazy. Those two are so fast. I think Jake's faster than Corbin on defense. I feel like Corbin defensively should be a lot better than he. I don't know if it's he doesn't take as good a routes to balls, but I just defensively he's okay.
Yeah, I heard this on the radio, so I didn't actually see the play live, but Chris just made it sound like he took so much harder of a tumble than he actually did. At that point, when I heard that Corbin might have been hurt, I was like, I'm going to drive into oncoming traffic. I don't care. I'll take everybody.
The quick look of it, I could see why from maybe his booth seeing that. Because I thought Corbin got hit in the balls. Genuinely, that's what the way you look at it on the camera. I thought he rolled up and was just holding something. So I was like, "Oh, please tell me he didn't just pop a testicle and was going to be taken out for a week." So
as you saw there, Corbin's calling for it, but I think either Jake didn't hear him or Jake is sprinting. Hey, thank goodness Jake didn't like do a shoulder like right into Corbin's chest, because we know what Jake did in high school was a running back for football, and that would have hurt Corbin quite a bit. But it looks like he'll be fine. He probably just needs some rest.
I think on the broadcast in the post game when he was talking to Jody, she brought that up, and he even said himself, he was like, "Yeah, like that was on me. Like when the center field calls for the ball, like that's their ball. You let them get to the ball." He's like, "That's all on me. It's just something we got to work on. Communicating a little bit better."
We saw it a few times last year.
I think this is probably what it was too. Oscar is he just didn't hear him, which is fine because it's entirely possible. Like we don't know how loud he's yelling.
Corbin's quiet in interviews. I could see him out in the field.
Yeah.
Ball. I got it. It's my ball.
Yeah, I feel.
Corbin, yell, please.
Yes, please. It was still a fantastic play by Jake. Like, I kind of want, now that we're going to be facing a lot more righties, hopefully, I think we'll see a lot more. I just wish someone could play infield. Just someone, so we don't have to play with Jace.
We should have Davidson de Los Santos back, right? I mean, just call him up at this point. Like, I don't care. I mean, here's the thing. Like I said, I don't hate Jace. I truly don't. I think he could be a really good, serviceable ball player, but in short spurts, coming as a DH type or a sort of like, emergency bat type. But he shouldn't be playing every day the way they've been playing them. I just don't think. Like I said before, I don't think Lovello is putting him in situations to be the best person that he is. Because, I mean, he batted like 230, 240 with Oakland. That's Oakland. Like, how did he manage that? And he's batting like 067 here. Like, he has something in him that makes him, a decent ball player. But he's just not being put in positions to be good either. Like, I don't know what he do. Maybe just send him to Reno, get some reps. Because I think Brett said in the group chat, like he had his shoulder adjusted and everything, got surgery on it. Maybe just send him to Reno, but he would have to agree to it. With him being a veteran, since they don't have options, so they can't send him. So he would have to agree to be sent down to get some rehab starts. But I truly don't know what to do at this point with him. Maybe he's just a really good
Kevin Newman
guy.
I just say, just play Kevin Newman. That's personally what I would do. Brett, any parting thoughts on the series before we move on to our next topic?
It was just nice to see them get back to 500. I know the Cardinals, especially after their disappointment last year, going into it, they weren't like a favored team on paper going into the Central. And they might be looked at as like a weaker team, but they still have a really good offense. They still have, the pitching is definitely one of the question marks. So it's nice to see them at least win the series, take 2 out of 3. Would have liked to see them be, especially against a guy like Miles Mikolas, who overall they just struggle against. But in the end, they got the win. That's all that mattered. It's just really, really nice to see that the bullpen, the key guys, should be rested for the Cubs series coming up. Because I think the Cubs are going to be a little bit tougher of a test. They got better pitching. I believe we will face. No, we're going to miss Shota by 1 day, so we're not going to see.
Oh no!
Oh no! But we still have some pretty decent pitching coming up. I think they got Brown, Hendricks, and then Wicks. So it's nice to see them get back in the win column 2 nights in a row, get back to 500, and then just build from here.
Yeah. Game. Any parting thoughts or any final things you want to say about Dbacks Cardinals?
Yeah, I guess just that, like, Paul Goldschmidt had a few chances to really, beat us in this series, and he would have done that. I would have.
He had 1 RBI. I think it was Friday. Just flips the ball out there. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, he won that game. He had a chance to win these other 2 games a few times. If he would have done that, the day they put up that Goldie statue at Chase, I would have been like the people in Baghdad when they tore down Saddam's statue. I would have been knocking that thing down that same day for this series.
Oh my God, this man is just spitting. Jordan Montgomery had his second get ready start with Reno yesterday. 4 innings, 3 hits, 3 walks, 3 Ks on 60 pitches, 38 were strikes. Decent outing. I'm still a little worried about the control. Like 3 walks and 4 innings is a little bit much for me, but he is slated to start Friday here for us. Which who do we play this weekend?
Giants.
Okay, all right. So it's going to be in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Some news about Jordan Montgomery in the last few days. He fired Scott Boras, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, Scott Boras. I mean, he's going to be fine because I don't know if you've seen the upcoming free agent class for Scott Boras. If anything, Scott Boras is probably like, hey, thanks, Jordan. I have other guys to worry about.
Dude, he has like 4 or 5 other big guys this upcoming offseason.
Yeah, he's got Bregman, like Correa. Like most of the guys that signed this offseason are probably going to want opt out next year anyway. So like he's going to have like 13 premier free agents to like get good deals for.
Do you think that's it for him? Like, he's probably not going to get any of these younger guys coming up that are in like in high school and stuff.
No, I think he'll still have the name.
Jackson
Like,
Holiday.
I could see like a Max Clark in a few years going to him. Like maybe a Paul Skeens in a few years going to him. Like I still think there's going to be guys that will go just because they know.
He's still going to be the number one. Yeah, he's still going to be the number one. Yeah, this is the big one. Soto.
Yeah, Soto. There you go.
So
whatever contract he gets for Soto, like if he can get Soto the big one, that Soto's, the reason he turned down $400 million plus from the Nationals, the reason why, I imagine the Yankees were like, hey, we traded for you, we'd love to extend you, and he probably told him, don't even think about it. I'm playing my season and going to free agency. If he can get that $500-600 million contract that he's been saying that he wants, I don't see a reason why some of those younger guys don't just like immediately flock to Boras.
Yeah, I think you're right on that, but Montgomery looked decent. Again, 3 walks and 4 innings just has me a little worried, but he didn't really have a spring training, so he's probably his first 2 or 3 starts with the Dbacks are going to feel very similar. It's still going to be better than Tommy Henry, so I'm completely okay with that. I just want to give a shout out to Justin Martinez. Dear Lord, is he having a good start? 6 games, 3 saves, 6 2/3, 14 strikeouts for Justin Martinez.
To what, $2? I think.
His whip is 1.05, so I'm gonna go with yeah.
So I think I saw some stat that was like
3 walks.
That's key because he used to have like 3 walks a game last year.
This is in Reno too.
Yeah. Like I said last year, he gets that command and control in hand. He will be our starter. I mean, he will be our closer. His stuff is that good. Like it is Duran good and Emmanuel Clase good. He's just, if you're gonna be a closer, you gotta be a little bit better with your command. So just wanted to give a quick shout out there to Justin Martinez. Hopefully we see him back up here fairly soon. Transitioning, like Brett said, we play the Cubs next. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Again, middle of the day game on Wednesday. Why do they do this to me? I don't like it because I can't watch it live. Monday is, hold up, what's Monday? Monday is Brown versus Kelly. Tuesday is Hendricks versus Henry. And Wednesday is Wicks versus Fott. Or if you're playing MLB The Show, Fat. It literally says Brandon Fat, and I laughed because I played this today. I was like, okay, that's how you say it? Okay. I think we lose this series. Cubs have been very good this year. Michael Busch just wants to hit home runs. That's all that man wants to do.
Thank God he's not in our division anymore. Thank you, Dodgers, for finally having too much talent and just giving it away for free.
Yeah, that's literally what they did. I think we win tomorrow with Kelly. Henry, I don't know.
I'm confident in the thought one. I know Wicks is 0 for 2 on the year.
That's the wild card for
he's
me.
he's got like almost a 6 ERA. Like he does have 20 strikeouts. So like if we can just because I saw a stat today, the D-backs don't swing and miss a lot. So like if they're gonna strike out, I feel like they're gonna like at least work the count a decent amount. Hopefully anyway. But if they
Yeah,
can at
I
least
thought I
drive it
remember
up,
seeing before Domo went out, any pitch that he swung at, he made contact, whether it was fair or foul. So like he had no whiffs, which I think is just incredible. Like that's just such good discipline. Like you're like, all right, I know what I can hit and I know what I can't. So yeah, I think we have Monday, Tuesday, probably not. Wednesday, it's fought. It depends on what we get. Do we get the one against Atlanta where you look pretty good, or do we get the first 2 innings against St. Louis?
I really trust in Hendricks. That dude's washed, man. He hasn't been good for like a bit. He's been getting he has a 12 ERA this year. He's not that good. I feel like they would probably tee off of Hendricks. I can see a sweep, honestly. I honestly think it's going to come down to the bullpens.
12 innings, yes. CRA is 12.08.
Yeah, so I'm like, they could tee off of him. They'll probably. I won't accept anything other than a series win because the Cubs have been facing a lot of inferior competition, honestly. I think they won 1 from the Dodgers or something like that. Two from the Dodgers. All right. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see how it is. We'll see how they look when they come in here. I know they're going to be running train on the catcher. Also, shout out Bobby Miller. I'm not going to say I predicted that he's going to not pitch 150 innings, but I might have predicted it. Also, shout out Blake Snell. I'm a natural-born hater. Like, I was born into this world and I was already hating it. So Blake Snell, I see you. We're going to tee off of you next week in San Diego with your 12.5 ERA, getting paid way too much for that, which I said earlier this year because he has 2 good years.
If Jordan Montgomery has a bad day, we're setting ourselves to get cooked on Friday.
Doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter as long as Blake Snell, gets his ass kicked. I mean, 2 out of 7. That's what percentage is that? Like 28% of his time in the big leagues has been good. That's not what you want. What are you paying $35 million for this guy for? But I digest. Keep it moving. Yeah.
So yeah,
Tommy Henry last year had a pretty good track record at Chase Field. 9 games, 3.30 ERA. I know his one start this year against the Yankees did not go well. Was it the Yankees? No, Rockies. Sorry, against the Rockies did not go well. But I don't know. Maybe he'll keep the Cubs off balance. I don't have as much confidence in that game as I do with like Kelly and even with Fott. But I don't know. I feel like at least with as long as the offense is showing up consistently, I feel like Tommy can have those days where he'll show up. He'll give you 4 or 5, maybe 6 innings, 3 runs. If you can do that with the rested bullpen, tea time, Ginkel, all that, I'm pretty confident in at least a chance of them at least winning the series. Yeah,
I think it's very, like Gabe said, I could see a sweep. Yeah, because Hendricks, like if he leaves anything up, because he has no velocity, he is sinker at the bottom of the zone. That's what he does. So if he leaves it up, he's gonna get torched. So that could happen. And I think we will get a masterclass from Merrill tomorrow. Because that man just like he's so consistent. Like, I think it's so funny. He is so good. Yeah. So my bold prediction didn't go very well on Friday because I said Fott would go 7 innings, 7 Ks. He gave up 6 runs in 2 innings. Let's do a little check on our old friends. Tommy Pham signs a minor league deal with the Chicago White Sox. And that's bad. Like no one else wants him.
He's gonna get he's 100% being traded at the deadline. It's gonna be a hey, he'll go up, he'll show what he's got. What do the White Sox have to lose? And then some team will be like, hey, White Sox, here's a AA prospect, that maybe you can work with. We'll take Tommy Pham off your hands, and he'll do kind of like what he did with the D-backs last year. Good clubhouse guy, can be a really good platoon DH. It is unfortunate because Tommy Pham's a good guy, and the market, he kind of got screwed, but minor league deals were wild, just wild.
Is he just a pure outfielder? Like he can't play shortstop? You know what I mean?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think he can. I think he's not even an outfielder anymore. He is a strict DH, like Jock. Jock can play first though. I don't know.
Can we change his nickname? I know I like to call him Big Cock Jock, but at this point, can we make him Big Walk Jock? Because that dude is ready for not like he's looking for a walk, but his plate it's like the plate discipline of Domo at times, where like he's literally looking at that. He'll like stare.
Except he hits home runs out of the ballpark.
He just hits home runs and hits the ball really hard. Well, he also, he hasn't even seen a home run yet. We've seen him keep the ball in the infield more than we've seen him drive it anywhere else.
Yeah.
So
big walk chalk. We got some bad news about Erod in the last few days. Looks like he kind of had a setback in a throwing session, so we're probably a little bit further away from him coming back, probably delayed by 2 or 3 weeks. So that was kind of a bummer to hear. It just means that Tommy Henry and Ryan Nelson, you get a couple of extra starts to prove which one of you is staying on the major league roster, because that's what it's going to come down to. I think depending on how Tommy does in his start against the Cubs here will determine where he goes.
Yeah, I think Alec on the broadcast was talking about his injury. He said that like when he ran to the bases and even after when he did the MRI and everything, he mentioned that like he said he was good to go, but being so early in the season, they just decided to bringing him down instead, like actually put him on the injured list. So I would assume if this was playoffs, he would be playing. So I think that's pretty good news on his part. He's starting to round. They said specifically starting to do left-hand turns now. So hopefully, at the end of the month, we should be able to get a lot of these guys back. Yeah, full force.
Yeah, that'll be good there. Bold predictions for this series. Jock hits his first home run. There we go. That's mine. It's more of a lukewarm, but because I think they're facing all righties, so he should be playing all 3 games. Wicks is a righty, I think, right?
Lefty.
Never mind. That's still at least one against Hendricks. So I just feel like he's due. So Jock hits his first home run. Brett, bold prediction?
Oh, man. I'm going to say sweep.
That's like taking Gabe's.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that was supposed to be mine.
Oh, that's yours? Oh, no, okay.
I mean, you already said it.
I can do another one. I can do another one.
Okay. I did not mean to just like, go right under and just take that, because I was like, I don't know. I mean, like, it's not impossible. Like, it's definitely a little like, it's a little bold, but
yeah, I'll say Brandon Pfaadt, 8 innings, shutout baseball, confirming that he's the true ace of the staff.
Now that is bold. That is very bold, ladies and gentlemen. But I am excited for this series. I think this will be a good test to see where this team's at against somewhat decent competition. Very excited. We're getting never so close to seeing Jordan Montgomery. I'm very excited for that Friday game. Like, I think it's going to be very fun. We appreciate everyone for stopping in. Jay, Oscar, Brett. Josh was in there for a bit. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future content. We'll see y'all next time.